All right, for our next Run8 adventure, we're going to be showing you guys how to kick cars. I know some people struggle with it. Probably a lot of you know. The diehard Run8 fans are going to know, but if you're new to Run8, you may not know. So we're going to be demonstrating that today. We're basically going to be taking a few cars off the head end of this cut and kicking them down in these tracks here. First thing we're going to need is a yard engine though, because I got rid of all the yard engines in the last video. We've got those two down here. I'm not a fan of 6-axle power on yard jobs. I'm old school, right? Like back in the day, if we had 6-axle power in a local or yard job, it would have been sacrilege. Like it would have been like, get that thing out of there. We're going to do 4-axle power. Let's hit Control F1. Let's clear this out. Let's get CSX02. We're going to do it with one engine. We're going to kick with one engine. I'm going to show you guys it can be done. No problem. Let's put this guy... let's put him on yard lead here, kind of in front of the yard office a little bit. Yeah, we'll put him right there. That's good. Sweet. All right, let's start this bad boy up. I'm not going to label them. I can't remember what the old locals were down in Taft. And once again, we are in Taft on the A line. Let's do auto start, auto MUDP. We'll do all the things. Get him going. 6125, right? Should be a dash 7. They had tons of dash 7s back in the day down here. We'll get him started up. And we need to get this switch right here. We'll click him. We'll fly down to the next one. We got to get this switch. I don't want to pull down the main. Because if we were legit working this and sorting a bunch of cars, we wouldn't know how much room we would have. I mean, we would have enough room. I don't know. It's not very far. Depends on the cut that we're sorting, right? So I like to do down at Taft is just line myself out the branch here, which we already are. This is a branch that goes out to the industrial park, so you've got plenty of headroom for days to go that way. And I think we're good. We got that switch. We got this switch. Everything else is lined. We're good on that. All right, yeah. So I think we're set. We got this guy. We've got our menu here at the top. Well, you definitely, if you're going to kick cars, you need to have this up there. You need to see exactly what your locomotive is doing. The thing about kicking itself isn't that hard if you know the routine, if you know what to do. What makes it hard is the fact that it's a one-man job, where in real life it's multiple people. Like it's 3 people in real life at least, you know, brakeman, conductor, and engineer. Let's go ahead and hit insert. Get this guy going forward. Let's release the handbrake. There you go. Let's hit H one time for our headlight on dim. J one time for our rear headlight on dim. We won't put them on bright. We're in the yard. We're working around people on the ground, so we won't have them on bright. I think we're good. Pulling forward. Yeah, there's no air on it, so we're good. Pulling forward a little bit. We'll grab that cut of cars over there. Hit control page up. That's going to go full independent. Let's go over that real fast. This is really important to kicking. At least this is what I like to do. Other people may do it differently, but you know, you can manipulate your independent with page up and page down. You can hit page down. You can just hit it a little bit, like one tap, and you can literally go 1 pound, 1 or 2 pounds at a time, right? Or you can hold it and it'll just go until you let go. You can hit control page down and it'll just release it. So it's basically like taking the handle and just going all the way off and being done with it, right? You can hit control page up and just putting it all the way on, right? In one go. Very important for kicking. I like to use this a lot. Do control page down, hit the delete key, go into reverse. We got our switches lined, right? We lined in there? No, we're not. Let's line ourselves in real fast. That's not going to let me. Never mind. Never mind. Pull back ahead. Piece independent. Might help to get the switch first. That could be that could be kind of good. Now we're off the switch. All right. There we go. Have to get a little closer to it. All right. Now go reverse. Get out of the throttle. Go reverse. Release the independent. Let's ease down there. 4 mile an hour or less for a good coupling, right? we're kind of flying around and doing this. If you want to be really like prototypical about it, you could do it all from the ground. It is doable. It's a little harder. All right, he's at 2.9. He's fine. There we are. All right, we've got the cut. We don't want to take the whole cut with us. We're only going to take part of it. What we're going to do, this thing is sitting there. There's no air on it. It's all unlaced. Like if you select the car and look, there's literally nothing on it. It's just handbrakes at this point. That's all that's holding it there. For demonstration purposes, though, we're going to take this cut and we're going to do auto air brake. And we're going to put air on the entire cut here. So if we go down to the bottom, select this car, his brake pipe is at 86 going up to 87. He's got 0 on the brake cylinder, so yeah, he's got air on it. He's good to go. The brakes just aren't applied. All right, let's see how many of these we want to take. I think we're going to take the first 5. We'll kick those. So what we need to do, we're going to go down here. Actually, let's release all the handbrakes. Let's get these. Let's get that one. This one. That one. That one. And we'll go to the TTX. All right, we'll take the handbrake off of all these. Now we're taking the head 5 with us. We're leaving the rest of them in this track from this Golden West back. What we want to do is go down here and select the coupler. This side, we want to bottle the air on this side. We're closing the air off on this side, right? We want to dump it on these cars because we're leaving them. We're not taking them with us. So we go in, we hit close. And let's open the coupler. There we go. Nice. All right, let's go forward. So we'll hit insert key twice. Go forward. And we'll start pulling on them. There you go. Nice. All right, he's pulling on them. The air is dumped on these cars. If you look at it now, there is 0 in the brake pipe and everything is in the brake cylinder. So they have the brakes applied. They have air on them. Brakes are applied. Now, we are going to be working these cars between this existing track that we're pulling from, the tank car, and the other TTX car. So what we want to do is we want to pull down at least a little ways. We want to give ourselves a little room to kick. Out of the throttle there. A little further. 2 more cars. Someone asked in a comment the other day how you do car counts. It's a judgment thing, right? It's a judgment thing. It's just you eyeball it. There's nothing exact about it. I suck at giving car counts. I definitely suck in game because it's not the same as real life, right? Like the depth perception, everything is a little bit off when you look like at an empty space. You know, how many cars do you think is in that? Like looking at it like that is kind of hard to say. Even in real life, it'd be kind of hard to say. I would say probably, I don't know, from here, maybe not quite 10. I mean, we pulled 5 out. 5 was about right there, and then maybe 2 or 3 more. So 8, something like that. You know, it's a judgment thing. It doesn't have to be exact, unless you're working with someone. All right, so we've pulled our cut. We want to kick this TTX car on top of this white tank car here. Let's go down this liner, switches in. Like I said, in real life, you'd have 2 people on the ground. You'd have a guy working the switches and then the conductor pulling the pins, that sort of thing. We've got that. Now, as it stands, we've got air on all these cars, right? Brake pipe, 90. Everything is charged and ready to go. There's no brake on the cylinders because we haven't applied the brake, but the thing is charged and ready to go. We want to cut this first car right here. If we were to kick this as is, not touching anything, we'd kick it, we'd pull the pin, the air hose would bust, the brakes would apply, and the car would stop like a half car away. You know? So my point is, you want these things to be free rolling. You can make them free rolling either one of two ways. You can either bleed all the air off of them where there's no brakes applied and there won't ever be any brakes applied until you pump them back up or apply a handbrake, or you could bottle the air. That way when the airline separates, it won't dump the air. So we could go in here, we could click this guy right here, we could close the angle cock because it's on this side, right? It's closed on this end, so basically this one car is bottled. We could kick him, the airlines would separate, and nothing would happen. He would just be free rolling until either we bust the air on it or we put a handbrake on it, one of the two. Generally, what we did in real life was that we bled them. This is the second way. So we've got air on all these cars here. What you would do is you would go down here to the locomotive. You would grab this coupler on the locomotive side. You would close out the angle cock. You don't want to dump the air out of your locomotive. You only want to dump the air on this cut right here. We go down to the bottom. Select this coupler. Open the angle cock, and there you go. You just heard the air dump, right? So basically the train went into emergency. You select it and you look at it. There's nothing in the brake pipe. You got air going into the brake cylinder. It's still actively going into it. So the cut has the brakes applied. It's not going anywhere. We could push on these things all you want. You could probably move them a little bit, but they're not really going to go anywhere. So what you need to do is bleed them. You bleed them. You make them free rolling. The yard job that I worked where we kicked the most, this was our nightly routine. We'd have an inbound cut coming in for us to sort, and the first thing you would do is dump the air and go through and bleed all the cars and get them ready to kick. Use 15 or 20 cars. You see, now it's got 73 pounds in brake cylinder. So yeah, brakes are fully applied. So what you need to do, select your car, go over here to bleed. It's kind of hard to see. Sometimes you can miss it, right? Hit bleed. We don't have a sound effect for it in game. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, it doesn't, but there's a little rod that you pull somewhere under the car here. You grab it and you pull it and you hold it out. And as you hold it out, it's like bleeding an air compressor, really. If you ever done that, like you pull a little valve and it bleeds, the same thing, right? You have to hold it. Sometimes they're kind of a pain. Like sometimes you have to really kind of pull on it. All right, so bleed this one. There we go. I hope you guys like that sound effect. Bleed this one. There we go. That one's bled. Bleed this one. And bleed the last one. Everything's off now. Like there is no air on any of these cars whatsoever. None on brake pipe, aux, emergency, brake cylinder, nothing. They are completely free rolling. They will free roll until either you pump the air back up and apply the brakes or you put a handbrake on them. But yeah, like there's nothing stopping these now. These are good to go. All right, so this guy is going in on top of the UTLX tank car down there. So I think we're set. Let's go ahead. Put your train in reverse. I got to hit delete twice to do that. I use the keyboard for it. I don't use a rail driver or any of that stuff. I just use the keyboard. I always use the keyboard. I don't have any problems with the keyboard. Fine. Our independent is full. If you remember, we did right control page up to do full independent, right control page down to completely knock it off, right? Now it's off. All right, let's do right control page up. Now it's back on. You got to remember this. This is how I like to kick. Full independent. Have the independent holding against the train, right? Go down to the car that you want to kick. Select its coupler. There you go. We got the coupler. Don't pull the pin now. If you open the coupler now, what could very well happen is once you start shoving on it, it's going to bump it around a little bit and the pin's going to drop and you're not going to be able to let go of it. You're not going to be able to cut it loose. So we've got our coupler selected. We got our brakes bled. We got full independent. The train's in reverse. We're good to go. All right. We're going to do number 4 throttle. We're pushing against the independent. It's not going anywhere right now. Like it's held in place. You don't want to sit there too long with it like this. All right, we're going to do control page down. There we go. Open coupler now. Once he's moving and the slack's gathered up. All right, now do control page up to do full independent and come out of the throttle. And you can see we just let go of the car. You should roll all the way down. We'll watch them and see here. Like I said, you could do this from the ground too. You could totally do it from the ground. Takes a little practice. It's a lot harder just doing it strictly from the ground than flying around. This is like the economy way of sorting cars, doing it from the air. Not a bad kick. He's not going to couple too hard. Sometimes if you're having to kick him a long ways, you'll kick him and you'll stand there and look and you'll see him go way off in the distance and bam, they hit and it's like a cloud of dust because they hit really hard. You can't control the speed. Like all you can do is let go of them at whatever speed you're doing, but there's no guarantee they'll be doing that speed or slower when they get down there. All right, so that was a successful kick. We did good. We did good on that one. The only problem is, let's say we want to kick this guy back over into this track, right? We want to put him right back where we got him. Well, we got up on the switch. Like, this isn't horrible, right? Like, you could go forward, you could pull forward and clear it. You pretty much have to. But ideally, if you want to be really good at kicking, you want to stop the movement prior to the first switch that you're working when you're sorting your cut, if that makes sense. So, like, we want to stop everything up here and have it free rolling, you know, before we get to this switch. That way we don't have to constantly be pulling, you know, pulling forward and then kicking and pulling forward and kicking, that sort of thing. So not that big of a deal. It's just part of what it is. All right, let's pull independent. Come out of the throttle. Let's go in reverse before I forget. There we go, reverse. So this guy is going to go back in this track. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to kick two. We're going to kick dose. All right, let's grab this coupler. There we go. We got a coupler. You see it's yellow. It means it's got tension on the coupler. You're not going to be able to pull that pin, all right? You got to put some slack in it. Give them a little slack so you pull the pin. So we couldn't pull the pin out even if we wanted to. So we're going to kick these two cars on top of that blue box there. We're in reverse. Full independent. We're good to go. Let's do N5 this time. All right, control page down. Release the brakes. Independent. Open coupler. It is open. Control page up. And out of the throttle. Not too bad. All right, you see, we stopped short of the switch that we're the first one that we might be working, so we could kick from there all day long and never have to back up. All right, let's see what these guys do. Yeah, they're going to do fine. Every once in a while, they'll stop short on you. And that's true to life. Sometimes they'll stop short on you. What always sucked for me is, like, sometimes they would hit and they wouldn't couple. Like when they hit, like they're about to right now, the pin wouldn't drop or whatever, or they wouldn't couple, and they would bounce back at you. And I remember, like, having to run and jump up on a cut and, like, tie on a head brake before they came back in, you know, came back into you. So you have to kind of watch that too, you know, watch what they're doing. All right, sweet. We've got that cut kicked. We're going to take this green car and we'll send them down here on top of this TTX car. Get all our switches. This is where another man comes in handy. This would be a lot of fun multiplayer. Like, you could seriously kick some cars in multiplayer if you know what you're doing. All right, that's all good. Grab our coupler. There we go. Once again, it's got tension on it, so you're not going to be able to pull the pin. We are lined into that track. There you go, way down there on top of that TTX car. We are in reverse. We got full independent. We're good to go. Go number 4 throttle. Release the independent. Give me a kick. All right. Full independent, out of the throttle, and I never did open the pin. That's something that you have to watch out for, right? Or your pin could drop. So what we got to do now is reverse it a little bit. We'll give another kick. And I've been using N4 or 5 on these kicks. It depends. It depends on how many cars you're hanging on to and what the tonnage is, right? Like it could totally vary. There we go. All right, let's hit delete twice. Go in reverse. We're good. We got full independent. We're in reverse. Control page down. Open the coupler. Control page up. Out of the throttle. There we go. He gone. Let's see if he makes it. That's kind of a long ways through several switches. Switches were kind of like if it was going to hang you up and you're going to have a problem, it could very well be on a switch. The more switches you go through, the more problem you could have. Like this guy is slowed down. Whoops. This guy is slowed down considerably. I don't know if switches make a difference in game. He should make it. You know, and honestly, with a good crew, like as soon as this, if we wanted to go back on top of this track right here, you could line it while that dude is rolling on his business, you know, going about his merry way. You could line that in there and let him do his thing. You have your guy down here at the switch, so he'd be watching, you know, he'd have you lined in and watching that, and then you could go in and kick this next one down in there too if you wanted. We're going to go on top of that other TTX car. There you go. Let's grab the coupler. Once again, it's got tension on it, right? The reason why it's got tension on it is because we jammed on the independent to stop. We're going that way, so it let all the slack kind of ran out on it. All right, so we're in reverse, full independent. Release the independent. Open coupler. Full independent. Out of the throttle. And there you go. Now I think our other car down here is already... Yeah, it is. Sweet. Kicking is so much fun. It's one of the most enjoyable things you can do in railroading. Like, to me, kicking cars is one of the most railroading thing you could do in railroading. Like, it really just is. A little bit of a hard kick. This would definitely bring up a cloud of dust. Boom. There you go. Luckily in Run8, you're not penalized, though. You're not penalized at all. So, there we go. We sorted a cut. 5 cars. It's really easy. Just memorize the process. Be sure to pull the pin. And it's not a problem. Just have your cars bled or bottle it. If you want to bottle the air, you could. We could have bottled. I wish I'd done that with the last car. I haven't really tried that in Run8. Like, you could have bottled the air on the box car where it's closed off on both ends. It's got the air. And then as it got to the spot where you wanted it to stop. Or, you know what? I'm going to set up. We're going to kick one more. So just stand by. I want to get a car somewhere and we're going to kick one into this empty track. We'll show you what we can do with that. Let's take this guy back forward. Release independent. Actually, no, we don't need to go forward. Never mind. Looking at the wrong track. Never mind. Stand by. Spur's going in this track right here. This is the one we want to grab. We're going to grab one of these guys off and dump them in that empty track there. Something you could do in game. I'm not saying do this in real life. I don't know anything about that. Right? I don't know anything about this. But it's doable. At least for gaming purposes, it's doable. May have been done in real life too. Possibly. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. We'll grab this bad boy off the head end right here. And grab this C in. Get down here too while I enjoy my refreshing beverage. My generic Coke. Because the real things are stupid expensive now. Like $9 for a 12 pack. It's ridiculous. Alright, what's our speed? 7. Work the independent a little bit. Get our speed down. There we go. Nice. We got our car. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Let's close it on this end. Let's open the coupler. It's still Actually, it's completely empty. It's completely bled. Oh yeah, this is the one we kicked down in here, so it's completely bled. All right, that'll work out. Back forward. Take him to the switch. We're gonna put air on this car. In just a second here. We're gonna dump him off in this empty track. Now, if you kick in an empty track, where's he gonna stop, right? There's nothing for him to hit until either gravity is going to stop him or he's just going to roll out the bottom, right? Like one of the two. But there's nothing there to stop him unless you have like a track skater or something like that. We don't have that in game. Let's stop full independent. Let's go ahead and put him in reverse. See, did we close the bottom off? Make sure. Yes, we did close it off. Let's connect the air hoses. All right, that guy's open. Let's grab this coupler. Let's do partial. Don't want to dump the air. Show you what he's looking like here. Yeah, brake pipe's already charged up. He's good to go. No brakes on the car, right? It's just in the brake pipe. There's nothing else. Go back and open this guy up the rest of the way. You open it up too fast to dump the air. One car, it shouldn't. I don't know what it does in game, but in real life it shouldn't. But you want to be easy about it. Like, you just don't want to cut it in because then it'll dump it. We pulled out of this track. There we go. Let's line him back. So we're going down the lead and then into this empty track right here. Now, we want to kick this guy with air on him. He's got air on him. We want to kick him in that empty track and we want to stop him. Now, you can do that one of two ways. You could ride him down in there and apply the handbrake and stop it. If it has a good handbrake, it may not. You better check it before you do it. But either way, you could do it that way. You could ride it in there and set the handbrake up once you get it in the, you know, how far down in there you want to go. Or you could ride it down in there. You could like maybe stand on this ladder right here, or it doesn't have a footboard on the end, but you could possibly stand down here and like you'd have the angle cock closed, right? Close it. You close the other one as well too. We're bottling the air. That way when the air hoses separate, the air's not going anywhere. So you could ride this car and you could ride it down in there in the clear, and then when it gets to where you want to stop it, you could take your foot and kind of reach down there and crack that open and dump the air, and then it would stop, right? Like that could work. That could totally work. It'll definitely work in game. I know that. All right, so let's grab this coupler just like we're kicking the other cars, right? Exactly the same, no different. All right, so we're in reverse. We got full independent. Let's do number 4 throttle. Control page down to release the independent. Open the coupler, control page up, out of the throttle. Now, we lost our, I forgot that it would do that. I was wishing it would stay up, right? We got to grab it now. We got to grab it. I don't know if we can. We may not be able to grab this thing. We just have to do, I was thinking it would stay selected, right? No, it won't stay selected. Yeah, that's not going to work. So we can't dump the air on it. We kicked it. It's got air on it, right? Well, you just select the car then. And when you get it to where you want to stop it, just apply the handbrake. I was hoping we could dump the air, but you may not even be able to select that now that it is its own free rolling car. Apply the handbrake. And there you go. He stopped. And you could go down here. Yeah, we can't select it all. Okay, this is a little different. I know in Railroader you can do that. In Railroader you can absolutely do that. Yeah, we can't grab the coupler. All right, scratch all that. You can't dump the air after you kick it. This might. In Railroader you can. You can go back and you can dump the air. If it was like a feature assigned to the car versus the coupler, you could totally do that. You could roll it down in there and you could dump the air and then it would stop. So either way, you got to use a handbrake. So that's another way you could do it. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Just a little tutorial on kicking and sorting cars, that sort of thing. Love all of you. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like and leave a comment down below if you got any other questions. And we'll catch you on the rails next time. Peace. No, big cat. No. Oh, no. No, kitty. Oh, that's a MiG. That's a MiG over us. easiest day ever. Oh no, he just fell. He just fell.